about a movie I like.
movies.
At least I like. Yeah, we'll talk about a better movie. We'll agree this is better than Rise of Skywalker.
Low bar.
All right, here we go. I didn't look at names, so I have to do it on the fly. But hi, welcome to Binge Buddies, The Fate We Make. I don't know why I can't say that title as fast as I did the other ones, but I really cannot just rattle it off like I used to. It's strange.
Is it just because you keep wanting to say one of the other titles, like
I
Bad
really-
Days in Haddonfield? Or
I
something
really
like
do
that?
want to roll, like, ever since we did What We Do in the Shadows, I instinctively want to roll right into who, what, when, where, and why we do in the shadows, because that's such a fun one to say. And The Fate We Make, I think, is a better title, honestly. It's just it's not as much fun.
It's shorter. Takes less
Yeah.
time to write down.
Yeah. Anyhow, we have Matt, Zombie Dog, Johnny Five, Dykes.
Johnny Five alive!
I love Johnny Five.
I love Johnny Five too.
I forgot about this character entirely until I just scrolled by him. Well, what a great character. We also have Joel, Marvin the Paranoid Android, DeWitte. So Joel's not a Hitchhiker's fan. Got it.
I mean, Marvin Martian is where my mind went first,
Okay.
but yeah, no.
Either that or he's just that paranoid. He's like, shit.
Is that a diss?
And then sticking on my way more famous robots, I don't really think he's a robot, but I guess technically he is. We also have Ryan R2D2 Lootens.
Beep boop, beep boop, beep boop.
He's a robot.
Is he a robot? I mean, he's a droid.
He's an astromech.
He's more of a robot than what was that one last week that we were like, that's not really How. He's more of
yeah.
a robot than How, because he can move around. He's not just a computer.
That's
I
true.
guess that's fair. Yeah.
It's a computer with wheels, but you know.
I'll take Hal sentience in R2D2. You're all fucked.
I was gonna
think
say that's a horror. Wait,
R2D2
do that
can
as a
be
horror
rather
film?
salty. He might already be there.
He might already be Hal. We don't know.
he's got
Does
the red
that-
light actually on the front, hasn't he? And he got like a red light.
Yeah.
What?
Hmm.
Oh god, that's a
There-
whole other podcast.
Yeah. There might be
It's
some.
all coming together.
Like, what's that old dad joke of like R2D2 is the most foul character in Star Wars because everything he says is bleeped?
That is definitely me.
All right, here we are. Terminator 4 Salvation. Everyone's excited in the world because we're finally getting the future war movie that takes place at night and people have laser guns. And then they hired McG and all of that went away. Terminator Salvation, the movie, came out in 2009. It's the same year I started dating my now wife. She did not go to this movie with me because we were dating and she didn't have to do things like that back then. And now we're at the point where we've been married for almost 10 years and she's back at the point where she doesn't have to do things like that anymore.
I think this is a theory of mine. If she had gone with you to watch this film, you would not be together now.
The first
Fate
movie,
would you make?
the first movie we went to as a date was Benicio del Toro's Wolfman. I think we're fine with bad movies. Either way. So here we are, 2009. We get Christian Bale from Batman in it. We get, Anton Yelchin in it. We get Helena Bonham Carter, I guess, was a big name. Bryce Dallas Howard was a name that was starting to become bigger. Like Common is in this. We get some names. We get some ideas.
Come on.
Terry Crews is in it for a second.
Is he? Did I totally miss that?
He's dead. He's the dead guy.
Well, there you go.
I think he was supposed to be Common's brother.
You get Moon Bloodgood. She was going to be a thing. Didn't really go anywhere.
She rose and then she fell pretty hard.
Yeah. She has a nude scene in this. If you watch the director's cut where she doesn't get naked, it's the most ridiculous. Like, fuck, we need more money. Can we release an R-rated version? Did she ever get topless, like in the background? Did anyone have a camera rolling when she was topless?
I love the
kinda
cut
did.
too because it's raining,
I mean-
and then the next scene it's not raining.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just this film all over. Like, it's daytime. Oh, it's nighttime.
Yeah.
Oh, it's daytime again.
Oof. So I'm trying to be as nice to this movie as I can. I legitimately enjoy this movie, but I'm going to start things off with my
You
notes.
forgot? Did you say Sam Worthington?
I was skipping over Sam Worthington because that's what the entire world does to poor Sam Worthington. That was not
Maybe it's because he doesn't
intentional.
really act and just kind of yells.
Yeah, I mean there's a documentary in the future that I have seen, and it's really good. It's about Sam Worthington as an actor in his career. It's like when he's like 80 and I'm somehow 110. It's a really good thing about how like he thought he was gonna be the greatest actor ever and started acting on set like he was the greatest actor ever, and then he got fucking checked by Hollywood hard, and now he's a really nice guy, and now he's doing good roles again. But this is definitely in that time and period where he's like, I was in James Cameron's Avatar. You haven't seen it yet. It comes out later this year, but I was in it, and I'm the greatest actor of all time. And like you could feel that ego, which is a bit of a problem. But you know, I really like Sam Worthington now, and I'm really excited that he has Avatar again. So I'm excited for it. But this was not his best role. He does yell a lot, and his yell is real annoying.
That's putting it lightly.
He's trying to be American as well. It's like he's not yelling in his own voice.
Yeah, so he somehow managed to channel all noise through his nose. I don't know how he did it, how he can yell through his nose, but he did it, and he does it a lot. Anyhow,
It's quite a talent.
It really is. Don't stunts.
Very nasally.
Here's my note for T4, and I think it's crucial for the rest of this so the audience understands why I'm defending this movie. I didn't really take notes on this one for a very good reason. To enjoy this movie, you just have to say, sure, whatever, to almost everything and let it be dumb fun.
You know, and I think that's how I was when I first watched this movie. And why I kind of liked it. I was like, man, it's just a Terminator movie. It's military. It's action. Let's go.
Yep.
Now I watched it like with my critic. I'm like, this is.
And I think I did the opposite. In 2009, I'm like, like, why? Just no, that was dumb. No, that was dumb. No, that was dumb. And now, you know, where we are here in the future. And, you know, I've been spending my day all day with my kid, and I'm tired and I'm exhausted, and I just don't have the energy to look at this with a critical eye. And I'm like, oh, that action sequence is pretty cool. Oh, that one's pretty intense. He's fully made of metal. Why'd it take so long for a mind? You know, fuck it. I don't care. Like, and that's basically my entire take with this movie is like, as soon as my brain starts going, that doesn't make sense. Then I have this other one. Fuck it. You don't care. You're right. I don't. All right. Yeah. Oh, look at the movie be a movie. Why did he have to kiss a cancer patient for pain? This doesn't make it. Fuck it. Let the movie be a movie. Like,
because he's badass and they want you to feel like he's a bad dude.
So if you go at it from the frame of fuck it, it's not that bad. If you do want to look at it critically, like we're about to do for the next hour, you're going to see it's kind of a piece of shit. It feels bad because I just got to go to this event for Avatar 2. John went with me, John from ATH days, where we got to sit down. We watched the whole movie with an audience. And then James Cameron came out afterwards and he talked to us, like, because you guys are Avatar fans. It was only sent out to people who are actual Avatar fans. If you'd seen it more than once on a certain movie ticket website, then you got an invite. So like they made sure people liked the movie or coming there. And James Cameron came out and said, what didn't you like? I know you liked the movie, but let me have it. Like, tell me what you didn't like so we can make the third one the best movie possible. And Mick G did that for this. Like, not to the exact, you know, he didn't have the metrics and stuff, but he did screenings afterwards with fans. He's like, I want your notes. I did the best I could with this movie, and I think it's pretty good, but I hear people didn't like it. But as of right now, I have another one, and it's coming, and I want to make that the best movie possible. And that just makes me hurt because the answer he eventually got was, the best thing you can do is to fuck off.
Yes, I mean, that's just in general, I think, for Mick G. Like,
yes, you attempted to reboot the system with this real gritty feel of a real life military movie, and we are gonna reboot it again. Sorry, thank you for your time.
Yep, and that was that's what they did. And you know, was the other reboot good? Not really, but you know, it was better than, it felt more like a Terminator movie than this one did.
I mean, like, my biggest problem, like straight out the gate, is like, how have they got helicopters? How do they have any? Why are the HKs not just shooting them down straight away? Where are the HKs? Where are all these things? Why are they out during the day? Why the hell does Kyle Reese say you can't go out at night? What?
Yeah, like
it's the exact opposite.
And you know, you can infer answers to all of that, which is budget. Yeah. And it's like, okay, like I get it.
Night for day. If it's going to be budget, shoot night for day.
I mean, they did that in the Terminator 2. Why do you think that sequence everyone is blue? It's because they shot it during the day. It's like it happens.
It's fine.
But either way, this is a very dumb movie that I think this exact movie could come out again, frame for frame, the exact same, just re-release it, but do it in black and white and only use color whenever there's like a red light from one of the Terminators, and suddenly be seen like this cyberpunk, like, oh, it's super over the top and ridiculous. It's just, there was good ideas in this movie with the worst possible director who just didn't know how to actually get those ideas on screen. That's where I'm kind of leaving it. Because as we move through this, I will go through, I think there are good ideas. I'm going to start with, so this movie starting with John Connor, he's not the leader of the resistance. He is like a wanted leader of the resistance. People love him. They think of him like almost like a religious figure because he's a prophet, because he's predicted everything, but he's also not the guy in charge. And that's where I think,
how do they know? Like, this is one of the things that I didn't understand with the prophet thing. How do they know that he predicted it all? Because it wasn't like he, yeah, but it wasn't like he was on street corners like before Judgment Day going, machines will rise up and kill us.
If he gets with groups of people and then tells them what's going to happen, because before you just have the HKs and things like that, but then he's going to say, okay, now you're going to have skeletal metal things, and it comes to fruition. You're going to have these types of things. You're going to have these types of things. So that, from that point on, because before we just had the hunter killers, which is the flying robot and all those things. But now as you're gearing up for soldiers and you're seeing these Terminators, essentially, he's telling them what to expect, but he's not getting any recognition for it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think it's there in the movie. I don't think it's explained very well.
No, it's not. You really have to go with imagination.
Oh, yeah. The other thing that I think is very blatantly in this movie, and it's not explained well at all. Like, this was something I think Majee was trying to go for, and he really went for show, don't tell, and didn't show nearly enough, is that this is the future that got affected by the other movies. Like, everything in this movie is here because they kept fucking with the past. So, like, is he the leader of the resistance? Not really, because, his lieutenants died in the other thing, and maybe having those lieutenants would have helped build him up into be the thing, but they're gone now. So he's not the guy who's in charge. So a lot of the stuff happening, like, why is this not happening? Why can't we go out during the night like we did in the old future? Because they fucked things up, and now this is a different Skynet. So, like, there is definitely something there of like, why are these changes here? Because the other three movies. But they don't explain that or even attempt to explain that at all. So that's me as a fan trying to make this work. And I think it's there, but I don't think it's done well.
See, and that makes a lot of sense too, because if Brewster, Colonel Brewster, or General Brewster, whatever he is, Air Force dude, if he would have lived, it would have given him much more clout, but he didn't. So he's working from the ground up.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of that stuff in here, and I actually really like it for that. I just wish a different director had done it, because I think it would have come across better. Because you could have had moments of, like, with John listening to the tapes with not Linda Hamilton on them, or if it was Linda Hamilton, she had smoked 1,000 packs of cigarettes before she recorded it.
Oh, it was Linda Hamilton, uncredited, and she sounded bored.
Okay, like, and she just did not give it her all in that one, which is
I'm listening to that thinking this is very reminiscent of Harrison Ford's Blade Runner.
Yes,
voiceover.
Yeah. But, like, we have that moment where he's listening to those tapes and he's like, nothing in here talked about a robot with organs. Like, she left me prepped for everything that Kyle gave her, but I don't know anything about this other robot. And, like, that is your really only glimpse into, oh, this is different. They actually affected things. There is no fate, but what we make does kind of work, because there is fate. It is happening, but it's different now because they made it different. I appreciate this. I like it. It works. Did it come across in the movie? Not really at all, but it's there.
Yeah, it's interesting because, like, you're saying about that it's changed. Is it changed as well? Because in this version, we had the TX come back and start to take over and maybe put in some. So, like, you had this basically this accelerated evolution of Skynet and technology and stuff like that.
Yeah, or who knows? Maybe because T2 they blow up Cyberdyne. They never got the technology to make their laser weapons, and that's why they all have bullets in this one. Like, there's a lot of things that you can kind of go back through and go, oh, they did change stuff.
Still doesn't make sense as to why bullets can now suddenly kill Terminators.
But again, because Cyberdyne went down, so they don't have that technology. They didn't build the better or whatever. Like, there are things that I'm personally making make sense. That's not fully there in the movie, but there's enough context clues that I think you can kind of work with it. But it's just really unfortunate that McG is the guy who has to try to bring this across the finish line, because he's just not the right guy for this sort of thing.
What's his actual name? Because I refuse to call him McG.
That is his actual name. He goes by McG. He's professionally known as McG. That is his name.
Ugh.
If you meet him, he introduces himself as McG. That's it.
And then I will say, "Fuck off," and then walk away.
I mean,
let's not forget that McG was
Bill.
McG was a music video director.
Oh my god!
And then he directed Charlie's Angels 1 and 2, and that somehow qualified him to jump in this franchise.
I was gonna say, like, so how did he get a Terminator film then? Like, he directed Charlie's Angels 1 and 2.
Yes.
Just 1, I could go like, okay, I could see them giving him another franchise. 1's not a
1 and 2,
but 2, ooh no.
That's when he tried to be too stylized, and it shows in this movie, in Salvation.
Well, because this movie, it really feels like a music video, and I don't mean that like I don't mean that as a compliment. Unfortunately, like there's
Michael Bay
like,
light.
Yeah, like there's so many explosions that have that like super extra crisp filter to them, that
Or
you
fire.
feel like, or fire in general, that you feel like 50 Cent should be standing in front of with a microphone. Like it feels like that sort of like. Where is he? It just doesn't...
You can find me in the future.
I mean, I'm down with a rapping Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I take a rapping one over a CG one. The CG one did not.
Oh my god!
It would make this movie 10 times better if there was a rapping Arnold.
They really messed up the past, guys.
He is malfunctioning, folks.
I'm a Terminator. I will terminate you.
I terminate in rap battles only.
You have been served.
Oh god! Like, I know, jumping way ahead to the CGI on it, but my fucking god, that was awful. Like I remember when I was looking at it going, okay, so they took a PlayStation game,
Yeah,
not PlayStation 2. PlayStation 1 Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's not
like it does not look good at all.
Do you think on the cutting room floor, like they had Arnold they had the skin on the whole time, and at some point they're like, all right, this looks really shitty. Let's shoot this again, have it be more shadows, and then we'll have the skin just be blown off. I can't do it. We'll do the fan service, but I can't.
Then there's one guy in the back. Do I have to animate his dick? No, we'll just put shadows. We'll just use a lot of shadows.
They still animate the dick when they rip the Terminator half.
They do.
I'm like, why?
I mean,
it's like whatever. I'm gonna have a future animating dicks. I'm gonna go work on Watchmen.
And then he's gonna get a job working on Red Dead Redemption, and he will basically specialize in only horse testicles.
Like I have a certain set of skills.
I just keep thinking, like, when you said animate dicks, though, I just immediately thought of Jonas in Venture Brothers.
Oh yeah, maybe he did that one too.
Yes, sir. What are your credentials? Well, have you seen Terminator Salvation?
Oh, did you do special effects? I did one, and it was
a big one.
Covered by a lot of shadows. But like even that is kind of annoying to me. Of like in the first Terminator, even the second Terminator, they hint that like T-800 is this design to be an infiltration unit. It can infiltrate, because it looks so human. It's got human flesh and hair, and it sweats and it bleeds, and they all look like Arnold Schwarzenegger now. Like you can't all be Mr. Universe. Like some of them have to have like a beer gut or something, right? Like if they actually want to.
That was the great thing about the Terminator. When you see the 800 series infiltration unit in the future, in that flash forward, it's a different guy. I mean, yes, it's another muscle bodybuilder. So, in a future where there's no gyms around, there's no protein shakes or anything like that, you see a big muscle bound guy and go, it's probably a Terminator.
Yeah.
But, like, you had this, like, something different. Now, I will let them get away with it with Terminator 2. The one that they send back is Arnold, and I will let them get away with it with Terminator 3 because they explain it away. But this one, it's like it's too far. It's kind of like, no, why are they all looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger? it's not a very good infiltration unit if they all look like the same fucking guy. They need to catch him once and be like, oh yeah, anyone who looks like this guy, kill him. It's a Terminator.
And like the robots in this movie, or Terminators, I guess, like they're kind of dumb. Like there's swimming ones, like there's, you know, like Transformer ones, huge robot ones that has motorcycles for shins. Like there's some really...
It's very clear that McG saw Transformers, really liked the scene where they have the scorpion tail like strapped down in the back of the airplane. Like, oh, I'm going to do that. Let's make up a Terminator that looks like that.
Yeah, and like I remember reading like interviews with him because I was excited for this movie. I was finally getting the future war movie that we've been promised since the 80s. I was excited for it. And I remember him reading with him. He's like, you know, I have to think about these machines like they're tactical machines. They're not just here for show. So he had this great idea about like, so we had this huge robot that's going to be like a harvester. It's going to go around, it's going to pick people off the ground, throw it in a bin, and like, I'm going to go harvest these people to make more Terminators. Really cool idea. But I'm big and slow. And if you're small and you get away, how am I going to catch you? I'm too big and slow. Oh, I have these little robots that'll shoot out of my legs, and they're like motorcycles. They can trace anyone down. They can get anyone. Like, okay, that's a really cool idea. And when they're not needed, they go back in. And just like the big robot, when he's not needed, he folds back into the plane. I like this idea. It's really cool. But then he undoes it himself by making the robots just, I'm just a motorcycle out on a drive later in the movie. It's like,
yeah,
you just completely undid everything you set up. Like, there's a really cool idea. Really great. I appreciate it. Okay, you're thinking like a robot. Awesome. Now the motorcycle's out for a drive. Like, what?
It must have been a Sunday. It was just out on a nice little Sunday drive in the country. I'm just looking at, I know this, we're very much an audio medium, but looking at both Ryan and Joel's faces, they're just like, oh God, I'm remembering all this shit now as well. They look, it's like the Nam flashbacks.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like,
here, let's pivot to something good then. I think everyone
let's
can
have
agree.
Huge set pieces and then fold them.
Yeah. Everyone likes Anton Yelchin. Everyone in the world likes Anton Yelchin.
Yes.
And if you don't, you're a fucking jackass.
Watching this as well, I'm just like, man, it's depressing because, you know, not just that he's dead, how he died as well.
So brutal.
It's just not nice. And, you know, could have been easily preventable as well. Fuck you, Jeep.
Yep.
It was a Jeep, wasn't it?
I think it was a Jeep, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's horribly sad, but
yeah,
like when I look at this movie and like the Terminator franchise pulled off an amazing thing of hiring two of the worst leading men in the 2000s between Sam Worthington and Jai Courtney. Like how they managed to do that is just, it blows my mind. I think Sam Worthington's good now. Like I said earlier, I do like him now, but he was having
Jai Courtney was great in the Suicide Squad. In Suicide Squad, actually.
Yeah, they both can be very good actors, but at this moment in time, they were both way off their A game.
Oh yeah.
But then hiring people like Christian Bale, very good actor, to do John Connor, but then he didn't know how to work with him, and it's just a mess. But Anton Yelchin as Kyle Reese is one, brilliant casting, fantastic casting, and I think he does a really good job with the role. I just don't think he has a lot to do with it. Like they really just kind of treat him more like a prop than an actual character, and I think that's more of the bigger problem with the movie. It's not him or what he does with it; it's just that he has nothing to do.
I had issues with what happens with Kyle in the film as well, but I want to go. I'll swing back around to that in a second. You mentioning there, like not really knowing what to do with John Connor. He wasn't supposed to be in the film. The only way they got Christian Bale in the film was Christian Bale said, "Well, if it's a Terminator film in the future, I'm going to be John Connor. I'm not playing some rando." Because John Connor was just supposed to be a voice on the radio. We weren't ever actually supposed to have him. And it shows so fucking much because they don't really know what they're doing with him.
No. Is he a prophet? Is he a leader? I think, and the problem is the movie figures it out like 2/3 of the way in. Like, oh, he's a guy who should be the leader, but isn't for various circumstances. And he needs to figure out how to become the leader. And they give him that arc. The whole plot line of we found a way to destroy the machines, which even the first time I saw this, I'm like, how is that not a trap? Like that feels like it's absolutely a trap, right? And then, yep, of course it's a trap. But like by having that and having it work and giving them this false hope and then leaving that to be That's how the machines get rid of all leadership. And the only person left to be a leader is John Connor, who has just proven that he is the leader that all of the actual people doing the fighting want to follow. Like, they figure out what to do with him in the last act, but the problem is that means we have 2 acts of, well, it's Christian Bale and he's gonna yell a lot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Both in the movie and on set.
This was the movie, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was.
I didn't even promise Matt I wasn't going to bring it up, and then I set myself up for it. I had to. But it's one of those things where it's like, he doesn't know what to do. And like, you have this sequence that should be an amazing sequence of John Connor finally being out of his depth. Like, he even has that line of like, that thing in there makes me feel like I know nothing. And it should be this really great sequence of almost like the Batman and Joker, where he's facing off with Sam Worthington of like, you think you're human. Like, what in the world are you? And it should be this amazing moment, and it just does not land. And I can't even put my finger on why it doesn't land, but it just doesn't. And it's kind of unfortunate, because that should be the turning point for the movie, where like, I love this. And it could be, there's a lot of things that it could be. It could be Moon Bloodgood's character entirely. She is a fucking waste in this movie. She adds nothing to it, and she's a goddamn idiot. And it drives me nuts. It's like, okay, he's a robot. He's a man. He's made of robot parts. Have you not seen how many robots have fucking murdered all of us? How dumb are you? Like,
I like
He's a man.
him.
He's a man. Half his face is missing, and you can see the robot skull.
He's so pretty.
and she's supposed to be like high up in the ranks of like, this is one of our good fighters. It's like, no wonder we're losing. She's an idiot. And I don't blame Moon Bloodgood at all. I think she does a good job with what she's given, but the character is so dumb. So dumb.
This movie fails to do the what makes a man versus machine kind of thing. You know, it's trying to blur that line, and it just fumbles it horribly, because number one, Sam Worthington doesn't know how to act like a human in this in the first place. So it's, if I had
you could apply that to any Sam Worthington
said he
performance.
doesn't know
He's
how
better
to
now. Better now.
Yeah, because do you know what it feels like? That sequence, you were saying it doesn't land. It feels like that it's Christian Bale and Sam Worthington flipping their dicks around, being like, "I'm a better actor. No, I'm the better actor. No, I'm," and
they're both in the worst role of their careers.
Yeah.
But also what irks me is that they highlighted this section as the moment to put in the movie trailer.
Yeah.
And it is such a good hook of an idea. I saw that trailer and I was like, yeah, I want to see this movie. Yeah. And then it never happened. but like, I'll always have that trailer burned in my brain with the 9 Inch Nails, backtracking. They hit such a great tone with that, and then they barely touch on it. It is an afterthought.
And it's something that the Terminator franchise has done now a few times, of like, what makes, like, where is humanity? Where is the line? Like, it's never done better than Terminator 2. And I mean that in cinema in general. Like, Arnold gets that point across in one line of the, I know now why you cry, but it's something I can never do. He nailed it. There you go. Done.
I think you pointed out the perfect part. The first 2 movies, when they're trying to blur the lines between humanity and machine, it is learning. It is sort of that soul of a human they're trying to inject in it. They literally go for this character has human body parts, so that makes him human. And it sucks.
He has a human heart. Oh, he must be human. No,
he was cuddly by a fire. He's a human.
So does that mean that anyone with a pacemaker in is a robot? Because like, is that does the opposite work as well?
God,
like, you have a robot
heart? A robot.
I'm sorry, but the whole reveal with the mines, was not
the
good.
reveal after he'd been like dropped basically into the Grand Canyon, hit the ground and bounced off his, and it's like, well, he's clearly a robot.
I'm sorry, but finding his body in like the silo where they go originally, and it's been what, 15 years, and he looks great. Like that doesn't.
Oh
that trigger something in your brain. Like, that's not right. Like, he's a robot. But like, he comes all out like, you know, Tim Robbins and Shawshank Redemption going, like, I'm just like, this is too much. This is dumb.
Yeah, it's a little nuts. But there's also there's a part of me though that's like, at least the trailer knew the movie was too dumb to try to hide this. Like, if the trailer didn't put it in there, like, it's like, okay, so when he hits the Grand Canyon, everyone's gonna do what Matt just did. Like, oh, so he's a robot. Like, because otherwise this doesn't make sense at all. Like, whereas say next week's movie, when they put the twist in that trailer, it's like, what the fuck, man? I had no idea. Like, way to ruin that. Like, that was way worse than this one. You kind of had to, otherwise the beginning of the movie, you're gonna have that the audience members going, this movie's dumb, I've already figured it out. And it's like, okay, that doesn't help anything. This movie is already pretty dumb. What haven't we hit in this? Like, I feel like we've been dancing around certain, you know what, something that I'll try to be nice to it again. There is a few action sequences that are pretty good. And I'm thinking specifically of, I hate the character, but Moon Bloodgood and Sam Marcus trying to escape the human like stronghold when they're running through the woods. That sequence is intense as shit. Like, they do a really
intense.
They do a good job with it. Like, the way that like everyone's just kind of off in the distance, they're all somewhat out of focus in the fog, and you just basically get the POV of being shot at. When the tank finally shoots that one missile, like, that's a really good shot. Like, it feels intense as hell. Like, I really enjoy that sequence.
My problem with that though is like when they do the fucking napalm thing, it's like, where are the Terminators? Like, all this shit that's going on. Like, why are there not a bunch of HKs flying in going, oh, there's a resistance camp.
Yeah.
Dead.
That too. And then, like, why are the Hydro bots they're right next to a stream?
Yeah.
Why are the Hydro bots like, if they're so easy to get, why are the Hydro bots like, this is their base, this is where they're at?
Yeah.
Come and get it. Like,
it genuinely feels like McG forgot that, oh yeah, this is the future war. There's Terminators around.
I'm sorry, but the CGI in this movie, when it comes to Sam Worthington, is butt ugly. It is terrible. It is beyond rough. There are some shots that look okay, but there are other shots when he moves, it's just like, it just does not work. And like when he gets his hand shot off, like you could tell like they tried to hide it and have it go to the side so they don't really show it. And when it's just so ugly.
Yeah.
It's just bad. It is really, really horrible CGI. And the practical effects in this movie are great, but the CGI, when it matters, misses the mark by 40.
Practical effects are always going to look better, though.
They are, yeah.
You will never be able to get practical effects to look as shitty as like CGI.
But again, like,
even great CGI at the time, most of it like 10 years later, 5 years later, it's like, yeah, that looks really crap.
McG's practical effects are like, okay, we're going to do a lot of explosions. We're going to do a dirt bike going up a ramp and over something. It's so stylized. You're just like, dude, forget what you know and do what feels right.
Yeah. Because you're right. Like the Great Escape moment looks great. Like it's a really cool, like the bike going over. It's great. Yeah. But then I'd push back a little bit on the special effects when it comes to like the robots. All look really good.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah.
I think some of the robots look fantastic, but just the rendering of Sam Worthington, even when when
it comes to flesh, it just falls apart immediately. Look at Arnold at the end of the movie.
The bots in the water. Terrible.
Yeah.
The bots in the water, they look great, and then Sam Worthington throws it like, oh my God, it looks terrible. You know, it's like, just focus on one thing and make sure it looks good.
Well, they look good. They focused on the robots, the one thing.
Yeah, they look great in isolation. The minute you put a human into it to interact with them, that's where it starts to fall apart, I think.
Yeah,
because the fight scene with Christian Bale and the Endo, which I have issues with, massive issues with. It just doesn't look good either.
Well, the entire last sequence just kind of moving forward, because I was going to try to talk about Bryce Dallas Howard, but she's so like, I appreciate the lip service to part 3 by having Catherine Brewster in this movie, but
they didn't know what to do with her. Like,
they had no idea what to do. We'll make her pregnant. That'll work.
Right? I think this is basically, I think it comes back to that whole thing. Like, this film was not supposed to be about John Connor. So immediately you put John Connor in there. Well, we've already set up that him and Catherine Brewster have got this relationship. She's his second in command, so we need her in. But it's not really going to fit in the story we want to tell.
No.
So you shoehorn in not just one character in to please an actor, but you're also shoehorning a secondary character in as well because of that.
Yeah,
she's a doctor of animals. Animals and humans are close. Let's make her the medic for the group. It works.
It'll work.
Oh, don't get me started on the end bit as well. Like, oh yeah, she was a vet, and now she can do heart transplants.
Right.
Well, yeah, totally works. That the ending is so insanely dumb of just his heart can't take it. take mine. Like,
and it's over.
Where is it? Like,
What?
really, you're doing a heart transplant in the middle of the desert with no screening on whether or not they're even compatible.
Nope, not whatsoever. But it works. Hearts
Not
are like
fucking-
batteries. You just pop one out, pop a new one in.
No, they're not. Then it's not even like blood. You can't have a universal heart donor. Like you can't have a.
Yes, you can. His name's Sam Worthington.
He's a robot. It makes sense.
No, I refuse.
No, I have no leg to stand on to defend the ending. It's so dumb.
Yeah, there is so much stuff in this that just annoys me. Like the thing I mentioned as well, like, you know, how they got these planes, how are they even fueling them as well? Like, where are they getting all the weapons and munitions from? Why is that they're just wandering around LA?
Yeah,
LA would be irradiated. Why is there no talk of radiation in this film at all?
Clean bombs.
There is when they're talking about the fuel cells that he's going to use to blow up the factory.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
do you not
nuclear
remember-
fallout.
Think back to the beginning of the episode. My first note. Sure, whatever.
Yeah, no, honestly, that's not good enough for a Terminator film. Like when you go from the Terminator to Terminator 2, like there is real thought out things of, like, you know, you've set up a world, you've set up this up, and this is a thing that annoys me so much as well. Like Ryan was saying, it's very sort of flashy and stylized. I don't want a flashy stylized future war. I want the gritty one that we were shown in the Terminator and Terminator 2.
The flashbacks.
We get a little bit more of that next week. A little bit.
I actually like the future scenes.
It's not bad.
Next week. Yeah, it's pretty good.
There's good stuff next week.
There is. I will go on record. I actually like Genesis. Like, I might not when I watch it again, but you know, I saw it at the cinema. I'd seen it on Blu-ray a couple of times. I enjoy it.
All right, let's get back to
You're
this
a
thing though.
queen.
So, like, I want to get back to this.
Do we have to?
Yes. So the end of this movie, I really do like the different push. You have the certain humans that are getting too robotic and just want to blow up Skynet, and then because apparently it's back to having a mainframe again in this movie. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Whatever. And then you have John Connor, who's like, but they have prisoners. And I like that distinction between John Connor and then the people who are getting just too in the weeds with the war. And John Connor's like, but if we kill the humans, we're no better. We need to save the humans before we blow them up. I like that. I like, and I think they sell it well enough.
No, I'm sorry. I
don't
gotta
think they
interject
do.
here.
Yeah, I think me and Joel might be on the same wavelength here, because
my issue here is that I think they try to do that, but John Connor in this movie is fixated on Kyle Reese. I don't think I don't think they really set up any kind of like interest in trying to save the broader group of people, other than knowing that Kyle Reese is there and he is bought into this destiny stuff at this point. Even with the outro when he's trying to have the dialogue about like the fate we make again, I struggle with that. I struggle with the way it's handled.
I also don't like the Kyle storyline, because it's like, oh, so Skynet somehow knows that Kyle Reese is John Connor's father, so they're going to target him. Hang on a minute, how do they know what Kyle Reese looks like? It's literally, you have a thing that comes up and it goes, Kyle Reese identified. How?
Like, they're really good.
I mean, from there, you could say, like, if there is a computer mainframe of, like, faces and he went to school, there's obviously going to be a school photo of him.
But he wasn't, though. He didn't go to school, because the whole thing of it was he will have been, what, at most 6 years old?
There also could have been a family photo somewhere. I mean, there's
They got
everything.
nuked.
Right.
All I'm saying is John Connor's the problem.
And this is what I'm going to say to back up Joel. This is a very selfish thing. You know, he's not in it to save all of humanity. He's in it to save his dad. Because if his dad dies, he's going to go, you know, Thanos himself and just be out of existence.
Sure.
Do we know that?
No, this has never been proven once in the movie.
And it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make any sense even if that's how it worked, because if it was, then you get into like paradoxes. I gave myself a migraine trying to write an article about this shit years ago.
No,
like
Terminator time travel.
It has to be. It's got to be alternate timelines. There's no way that it can't be. It can't not be, because the idea that you have Kyle Reese coming back saying Judgment Day happens on 1997 and then it doesn't happen on 1997. Well, hang on a minute. Yeah. Why is he still saying that No, let's not do that. I don't want another migraine.
Yeah, no,
thing.
yeah, you'll think yourself into a thing. But what I'll get back to my point of why I still think there is clearly a studio note, and this movie feels like it had a lot of studio notes, and I feel like they were trying to go for the ending that you guys definitely saw, because it's definitely there on screen of like, I need to save my dad. You can't blow up my dad because then the future doesn't work out. But there's a few lines in there where they talk about saving the hostages, which I feel like were probably in reshoots. And like, well, we can't just have him save his dad because that just makes him seem like a selfish prick. So they're both in there, and it's just not done well. It's another one of those things where like there's good ideas, because I don't think having the selfish John Connor who's just, drunk on future that he wants to force into happening is a bad story. Having him be the problem isn't a bad story. It's the fact that they got cold feet and they threw in or maybe is it all for humanity, or is it the selfish thing, or is it this? And because it's both, it's a fucking mess.
I think I agree with you on that. I like the idea of it. And I liked the idea that they would toy with the question of, like, is John Connor himself or others? Also the question of, is he causing this problem because he has bought into the fate so much that he's afraid of losing the path that he understands and knows? It goes back to like his freaking out about Sam Worthington's character being partially human. It is that unknown territory that he's afraid of.
Yeah. And all that stuff is there, and that's the problem. It's all there. Mm-hmm. If McGee had been smart enough, or if the studio had gotten out of his way, or maybe the studio had gotten more in his way, who knows which way that needed to go. But if they'd actually picked one of these plot lines and actually ran with it, this movie would be markedly better. And it could have been any of them. You could have picked any one of these things and it could have moved in a better direction. Instead, they just cast a wider net and like, we're just going to do it all and let people figure it out.
It's too many cooks, essentially. Yeah. It's like, going back to the thing of like John Connor not supposed to be in this film. They're starting to build a film and a story. And then they're like, oh, well, let's try to get Christian Bale in. He's a hot thing at the moment. And he says, well, I want to be John Connor. And it's just like, okay, well, hang on. We've got this story here. Well, let's change this character to John Connor and try and fix it that way. But then it's too many people putting their ideas in. And then when you take all of those ideas on board, what they should have done is said to Christian Bale, no, that's not the story we're telling. And then if he didn't want to be in it, fine, we'll find someone else.
I think, and this is what I'm going to say, and this is part of my original love for this movie, is as a straightforward apocalyptic war film, if you take the idea of what Bryan said and just say, fuck it, it is a very straightforward story, and it's good. There's certain things that you don't have to dive into to fully understand, like I explained with the whole, him knowing what Terminators look like and the anatomy of a Terminator. And if you just do these set pieces and things like that, it's going to move forward. And I enjoyed that part of it. I enjoyed the rough, realistic military action. I enjoyed the helicopters. And even if it is an alternate timeline, why it can't be bullets, because maybe when they blew up Cyberdyne, there was something in there about plasma rifles that got blown up, and now Skynet is that much further back in their R&D. There's things that make sense with this movie, and if it's just telling a straightforward movie, it's good. But when it just tried to over stylize and tried to make things a little bit more complicated and not following through on things with that idea of too many cooks in the kitchen, that's why we have this mess of a movie.
I wish we didn't get John Connor in this movie.
I
think the Terminator universe is big enough to where they could have some form of side story that doesn't include John Connor. I mean, hell, you have the makings to make Kyle Reese the main character in this.
Yes,
it should have.
I agree. It should have been, because
Anton Yelchin would have been the better thing. And John Connor could have been in the next one if they had gone that way. And
or just done one of the things where one of the people have this character of Christian Bale go rescue Kyle Reese because he knows. Somehow he knows, or something along those lines, or that's the mission. Yeah. And not even that. Like, even if you just make it him rescuing the people, there's more validity, there's more humanity in there. Yeah. And then when you find out that he's rescuing those people, one of the people that also gets rescued is John Connor. Yeah. Then it's a better movie.
Yeah. Like I said, there's a lot of ways to fix even this movie. We could still have Terminator Salvation. Like the structure's all there. It just needed somebody a little stronger to bring it across the finish line, and I think we could add something really cool here. It doesn't need to be the guy who did 3 or James Cameron would never do a movie like this, but like there were better filmmakers at the time that could have handled this.
Yeah, and you can keep the characterization of Sam Worthington and Christian Bale because Christian Bale has no idea. He's like, "What are you? Like, you're scaring me. Like, I have no idea what this is." It doesn't have to be like, "Oh, you're something from my past."
Yeah,
it could be like you're a new type of technology, and then when they come together with the humanity, that again layers both their ideas of saving humanity. And him not being John Connor makes him a more believable character.
Right. Are you saying you didn't like the delivery of the "you and I have been at war since either one of us ever existed"?
That is correct.
Yeah, so
dumbest fucking line.
Yeah, it's yeah. Oh
right,
my god. That whole speech, I think it literally exists for a trailer as well.
Yep. And it worked well in a trailer. It got Joel not to watch the movie, but got his interest. But there is something that I did want to throw out here is that if we did want to take this as like maybe we're just a little early in the future war, maybe the next movie they'd have to fight everything at night. Like maybe we just landed a bit too soon to see what we wanted to see.
Well, it is in the far away future of 2018.
Yeah, I know. But it would have been nice since we see Skynet or Skynet advance to the next level of Terminator. We see them get to the T-800. Wouldn't it have been cool if in that last action sequence we see Christian Bale find a phasma rifle, like a plasma rifle, and to start like with purple lasers, and like that's how we like. Oh, we're both ramping up to the movies that we know is coming.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I'm going to say too. What I really enjoyed about this movie is how Cyberdyne bought out the genetics lab, and that's the genetics is what allowed them to start working with synthetic skin and things like that. I thought that was a nice layer, and I thought that was great for continuity.
Yeah, like this, there's something about this that I hate throwing this phrase around because it feels meaner than I mean it to be, but it kind of works here. This feels like a fan film. Like it feels like somebody who loved Terminator, Terminator 2, and Terminator 3, and went and made a movie, and they were a fan. You don't get the greatest things from fans. I love those fan Friday the 13th movies of like him in the snow. Like those are really fun to watch. They're not very good though. And that's kind of like
I know exactly what ones you're on about as well.
Yeah, like they're fun to watch because you can see how much fun people are having with them. Yeah. And since this one is a major motion picture, you don't get that fun side of it because it turned into a job for everyone on set. And like Christian Bale in the beginning of the movie is giving it his all. By the end of the movie, he's cashing a paycheck. And you could say the same thing for everyone in the movie except for Anton Yelchin because he didn't know how to phone in a performance because he was the greatest thing ever. But it does kind of make this diminishing returns you get from this movie, unless you get to where I'm at of, yeah, sure, whatever. And then it can be a lot of fun, but you really do need to approach it with, fuck it.
Yeah, maybe if I'm really bored one evening, I will go back and watch this again with a, fuck it.
Yeah.
Kind of attitude and see if I enjoy it more.
You just can't think about anything. Everything they hand you, you just have to go, thank you. Yeah. Oh, sounds good.
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yep.
It was nice seeing Michael Ironside.
Yeah,
he was pretty good, but he
shoots scenery so good in this movie.
Yeah, I love Michael Ironside. The first thing I remember seeing him in was V: The Final Battle, which is the terrible. No, it's the terrible sequel to the original miniseries of V. Which when I first saw it at 10 years old, it's great because it's laser battles and aliens and shooting things and stuff, and he's fucking cool in that, so I can watch it and enjoy it in a nostalgic level. But he's great. I love Michael Ironside.
I want to go off that and say Michael Ironside, with the R-rated cut, there's really not a whole lot of substance to the R-rated cut. You get Moonblood good side boob that warrants a PG or an R rating, and then you get them shooting a robot in a hallway right in the beginning. But Michael Ironside's deleted scene was perfect, and it lends more to the character of John Connor. Is that whole I don't believe in prophecy, and he pulls out his gun and he's like, right now it ain't gonna mean shit. And I was like, that's perfect. That needed to stay in the movie because that adds a whole nother layer to the movie.
I only saw the theatrical cut once, and I've only watched the directors ever since, and I kind of forgot that wasn't in the movie. Because I like that scene. It's ridiculous that a military leader is going to shoot his most popular soldier to prove a point, but but it also kind of works because that's what I'm talking. He's chewing scenery. He's so over the top. It works, and
it's
that
great.
Ironside can sell that, which not a lot of people can.
Because he's fucking Michael Ironside.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. Let's move into favorite moments and quotes. We can.
Can I just one more thing I need to talk about, because I did say that I'd swing back around to this. The fight between John Connor and the endoskeleton at the end really fucking annoyed me, because we have a very similar fight in the Terminator where the end, and we talked about it at length. The endoskeleton hit Kyle Reese once, and it fucked him up. He was on the ground. He was like, his face was like basically collapsing.
Yeah.
And in this one, you've got John Connor being thrown 25, 30 feet across rooms. He's getting punched and all this shit, and he just gets up and no, fuck off. You've literally, you've ruined everything. Like, go watch a fucking Terminator film and then do a fight like that. I don't need this big sort of like clearly CGI Christian Bale being thrown around.
And I had forgotten, because it's been so long since I watched Salvation, that he got stabbed through the chest at the end. I had forgotten about that. And like, here I'm watching the movie going like, oh, this is how his heart dies. He got the shit kicked out of him by a Terminator. That would make sense. And I was just kind of like, I was just assuming that's where the ending was going with the stupid heart transplant. And I forgot, oh, he actually got stabbed too.
Yeah.
I was
doesn't
fine
need
with
the getting stabbed. Yeah. It would have been way better if that fight would have been half the time. And it was like literally Kyle, I'm thinking of the original one. John trying to fight this machine, failing miserably, the machine fucking him up. And then he gets the, like you said, he finds the laser gun. That'd have been perfect way of ending. Like he finds this gun and he's just like, it's like a last ditch attempt, like, oh, I don't know what the hell this will do.
Well, even if he says, you're Terminator, fucker. You know, he goes, you're Terminator.
Well, they wouldn't be able to say that because PG-13.
Well, the one I watched,
you're allowed one F-bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it
would have been worth it.
Yeah. And to say that with the version that we watched, the director is R-rated, it wasn't R-rated.
No, it wasn't.
They stuck some side boob and said it's R-rated.
Yep. All right, favorite moments now. Let's talk about. I have a quote.
And wait, we're not talking about Moon Bloodgood's side boob as our favorite moment?
God, no. I mean, no offense to her side boob. I'm sure it was fine, but you know, I just don't care. If
I want to watch boob, I'll go on to Pornhub.
Yeah, there's plenty of boobs on the internet. Probably
there
too many boobs.
Dozens of them. Dozens.
Any hoozle. My favorite quote got the biggest laugh in the theater opening weekend. Like, the theater was like on the floor. Like, it ruined the entire last sequence in the movie. I don't know if we're all just a little like drunk or a little slap happy, because we were all laughing hysterically in a sold out theater in Chicago. And it's in that last sequence when everyone's trying to get out and star a character we didn't talk about at all today. But Kyle Reese's little buddy Star is just kind of standing there while everyone is trying to evacuate. And John Connor turns on her like the fucking devil and points and just screams, "You move!" And the way he yells it, the entire audience just started crying, laughing. Like, it was just like, so over the top, so ridiculous. And it's like, it still brings me joy now.
Because he's doing his Batman voice. And
yeah,
it's like,
whoa. She's like, excuse me.
Well, isn't she deaf too? Like,
they don't say she's deaf. They just say she doesn't talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
he doesn't talk, but you better start.
I'll say my part. I just like the continuity of 2 and 3, and how you see in the flashback scenes you have John Connor and his scars. We get the scars in this one, and I thought that was really cool. As a Terminator fan, I was like, hell yeah, scars on his face. He's got them. We're good.
I get it felt a bit fan servicey. I do like that they addressed it, but
hey, man, and a movie where it doesn't really offer a whole lot of fan service, it worked for me.
My other backup moment was pure fan service. We'll see if either one of you say it. Matt, Joel, whoever wants to next.
Joel, you can go first.
The trailer.
Fair. It's fair. All right, Matt.
Oh, good for you. And how was it? Do you want me to smash your fucking lights? Do you want me to smash your fucking lights?
Poor Christian Bale. He'll haunt him the rest of his career.
If you haven't seen it, please go and look up the Family Guy edit on that. It is absolutely hilarious. They just have Peter Griffin going, they were Christmas tree lights. I'm just trying to make everyone happy.
my favorite
fucking
forever.
Good.
SNL has taken it offline. It's a bitch to find it, but if you can find the Bradley Cooper sketch about it, it is one of the funniest things ever. It is just Bradley Cooper as Christian Bale doing an apology for acting on set. And then Fred Armisen is walking around like a lighting tech behind him, just annoying him with like a little light meter and like moving a light. It's just he just shows up and just, what the fuck? What are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm just doing my job. Is that okay? It's fine. It's like, I get why SNL took it down, but if you can find it, it's really, really funny. My backup moment, which I'm going to throw out there just because I actually think they did it well. I know everyone's going to disagree with me, but I think they did it well. I like the I'll be back in this movie.
Yeah.
I think it works. I like the whole, like, he's heading off to go do this. And like, what do I tell your men when they're looking for you? I'll be back. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it. It works. Good job, movie.
Yeah, it's
a couple things, right?
like literally two.
Well, as much as I enjoyed talking about this movie today, we do have to stop talking about it at some point. And I can successfully say that three of you did not sway me on my entertainment of it. I still enjoy it. I will still not recommend it to anyone, but I still enjoy it.
Maybe my enemies.
But let's do a quick round of plugs and we can say goodbye. For this show and every other show on the ATH Network, be sure to check out athpod.com, where we have the new future feature thing. I can talk about it. Yesterday's news today, where we are talking about news that we found interesting yesterday. So be sure to check that out. It's a lot of fun. Just fun things that we found on the internet the day before you're looking at it is essentially what that is. And it's a good time. Highly recommend it. Joel, what about you?
Afterthoughts podcast, where my wife and I read books. I'm going to go ahead and put the stake in the sand and say we finished Fellowship of the Ring. And so I'll need to decide whether we move on to Two Towers
Dune.
or
Dune.
I was just
Dune.
I owe
Dune. Dune.
I owe Dune. I owe it to you.
Dune. Dune.
I have the book. That's half the step. It's like Brian was talking about with video games offline. You know, if you buy it, you're invested.
Yep.
So, and then Super GG Radio is a video game podcast with the Front Row Network, video games and all things adjacent, indie games mostly. I have no recommendations this week.
Fair enough.
Ryan, played all the games then, Joel, and you've run out of good ones.
I could live 20 lives and I would never touch a quarter of the video games out there.
I mean, that's quite good because you can get probably 20 lives in video games.
There you go. Yeah.
True.
And you spend quarters on video games. I'm going to stop now.
Thank you. Ryan, what about you? What you plugging?
So you can find me at the Front Row Network Flashbacks channel. I host there with two amazing co-hosts where we talk about movies from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Depending on when this drops, our movie of the month is Old Boy. If not, we're moving on to our next movie, which we haven't decided what it is. But yeah, other than that, you can catch me at the podcast of us, where we do a wrap-up of The Last of Us. And at that time, we should have our wrap-up episode. So yeah, that's it.
So the movie of the month's going to be Terminator Salvation, right? That's what you're moving into?
No. Well, there is a stick on Flashbacks. If we talk about a movie that I don't like, I drink heavily and discuss it.
Okay.
But I am not drinking for the year, so I just don't know how I could do that episode. You guys will. I'm here.
I mean, you've literally just done it, and
I know. So maybe
well done.
Who knows?
Well done at keeping your sobriety.
No, I just said I'm going to take a year off and not have anything to drink. Try to live a healthier lifestyle. So here we are.
Oh, that was fun.
And you managed to keep up with it after watching this film.
Right. I wasn't driven to drink. Now we'll talk after when I watch Genesis.
Well,
no, Genesis is better than Salvation.
Is it though? Tune in next week. Anyhow, thank you everyone so much for listening. I'm going to say goodbye now. Goodbye. Bye.
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 We'll be back.
We'll be back.
Oh, no, I don't like that one.